I started fighting Muay Thai at a professional level simply for the sake of self-improvement. Listen guys, I'm 29 years old. My fight record is 4 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. And I started Muay Thai at the late age of 26. And most of my opponents and most people that I fought are either like in their early 20s. I've even fought a kid who was 18 who actually knocked me out. Um, and everybody who I've ever fought has been fighting their whole life, you know? Whereas me, I feel like I'm such a late starter. To give you a bit more of a background, man, I spent years of my life in the totally wrong direction. I never wanted to go down the 9 to 5 route. I never wanted to be an employee and go down that route as well. I always ached for more in my heart, but I didn't know how I would go about it. And because of family pressures and societal pressures and peer pressures, I went down the road of complacency. I even remember there was a specific moment at the age of 17 where I had the choice to either rebel against what my parents slash one family member in particular was telling me to do, or I could just submit to it and hope that things will work out. And I specifically remember that turning point. It was in Qatar. I very much wanted to take a I wanted to take a very specific avenue. I wanted to go and move to Canada at the age of 17, right? But through pressures and whatnot, I ended up going to Europe and going to a school in Europe. Basically, long story short, guys, I ended up taking a very unaligned path with myself simply because I submitted to the pressures that the family member had put on me. And it was such a big mistake because that created a snowball effect of me going down this corporate career path. And even though I could see it in, my family members who were totally unhappy with that path that they chose themselves, I decided to just follow them because that's what they told me to do. Even though there was a fire within me that deeply wanted to rebel, and I was rebelling quite a bit. But with this particular life moment, I guess the pressure really got to me at the age of 17, and I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I'm told. And so for I guess 9 years, almost 10 years, from the age of 17 to 26, I was completely in the wrong path, right? I ended up getting fired from my corporate 9 to 5 sales job for the first time ever. I was fired. I've been fired twice, right? But for the first time ever, I get fired, and I was like, well, I finally have a little bit of money saved. I finally have, freedom. I'm not living just to work. Let me go try something different. I've always wanted to try Muay Thai. I've always, that's always been very appealing to me. So let's give it a shot. And I bought a ticket to go to Thailand. Initially, it was a 1 month round trip, but after training there for 2 to 3 months and realizing, man, I could potentially even do a fight here, I was like, I have to extend. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she was really unhappy with those decisions. But I finally started to prioritize myself and prioritize, what my heart was telling me. That's when I actually learned how to listen to my own gut and to my own heart. And I told myself, let me put that as a priority. It doesn't matter if I have these societal pressures and these peer pressures and the girlfriend pressure, and I need to get a job, and maybe I'll run out of money, and all of this shit that was just like, it's like mental conditioning that I had put myself through voluntarily, by the way. It was a choice to accept these things. It's very difficult to avoid, these types of societal pressures and peer pressures and family pressures. But I specifically remember that I would consciously be accepting these things as part of my life. And so when I decided that I was going to do my first ever fight, first of all, like, the Thai trainers were quite, apprehensive about it. They certainly didn't give it to me easily. But it was during that moment that I realized, yo, I'm the fucking master of my own world. I'm the master of my own destiny, and whatever I choose in my life, I can choose whatever it is that I want. I simply just select it for myself. And that was a really big fucking turning point for me, man, because I had been conditioned to think that I need to, like, suffer for everything and that I'm at a disadvantage for anything that I've ever wanted in my life. It was such a big turning point for me, right? And so, look, man, I eventually ended up extending my trip. I did my first ever fight at the end of that trip in Thailand, and it completely changed my fucking life. It completely changed my outlook even more. By the way, I lost that fight by TKO. The guy kneed the fuck out of my body and elbowed me in the face, and I was just like, poof. And the guy had like 100 fights compared to my 0, right? And even though I lost and it was extremely painful, it also completely changed my perspective on what's possible in life and what it is that I can do through my own choices. And I was like, holy shit, like, I need to keep pursuing this forever. And so I have, man. As you can tell right now, I am in Thailand. I moved here. I've been living here full time for like a year and a half now. And it's been the best fucking decision I've ever made in my life. And it's, guys, fighting is the best form of self-improvement because there's no fucking ego, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Fighters do have ego. There's a fucking fruit fly right in front of the camera, bro. Fighters do have ego, but at the same time, the sport just humbles you so hard, right? Because you get your ass kicked, and when you accept, Jesus Christ, dude. When you accept like an ass whooping, you know, and it puts you in your place, it really changes your perspective, because a lot of us just live in a completely delusional manner, thinking that, you know, we put up this front as if to maintain some kind of fake power that we don't even have to begin with, right? A lot of men who like bodybuild and lift weights and try to look all macho and shit, and so many people with social media and Instagram just like completely fake who they are, right? And fighting does the total opposite of that. It forces you to essentially accept the reality of how life is. You can't fake a fight. In a fight, nobody can fight back for you. You are the only actor of your destiny. You have to fend for yourself. You have to bet on yourself. Guys, I'm rambling a little bit here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that fighting is the best form of self-discovery, and you have to bet on yourself, and you have to be the fucking actor of your own fate. Nothing will ever be handed to you. But through fighting, and through bettering yourself through a sport as violent as Muay Thai, it's one of the best life calibrators. You learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about what it is that you truly want out of life. You see what you're truly made up of. You learn so much about your weaknesses and so much that you can fucking improve on. Look, man, I've experienced a ton of pain in this sport. I've broken my hand twice in fights. I've been knocked out in front of my mom, in front of people who I idolize, in front of my mentors. I've had to take months off of the sport because I had concussion symptoms where I wasn't even able to walk properly because of how dizzy I would get. But I wouldn't have had this any other way. All of the pain that I've ever felt, I'm extremely grateful for. And I continue to pursue the sport full time because it's the greatest form of self-discovery. And it's one of the greatest choices that I've ever made for myself. Fuck being an employee for the rest of your life. Fuck taking instructions from other people who don't know what you truly want out of your life experience. Life is short. You don't have that much time left. You need to take action and be the master of your own destiny. That's all I got for you guys today. Take care.